And hello, this is Hanan Amro, and the instructor for College Algebra Math 1414. As you can see on the screen, will be our home page for College Algebra. And as you can see, the first thing I ask you to make sure that you get the TI 83 or 84 from the library, or if you have it, that would be good. Now, if you look at the left side right here, that will you always take you to the home page, which is start here. If you click on it, it's automatically it will upload the same exact page. You can see if you go further down the page, you'll see my office hour. Usually I'm 7 to 8 in the evening, Monday through Thursday, online. So if you have any question, log in and let me know how can I help you. You will have my office hour. I'm in the J building, 30th floor, 908. My cell phone is indicated on the screen, and also my office phone. In case of emergency, please contact me as soon as possible. Underneath it, you will see our syllabus for the course. It will give you more or less what's the course all about, what's the grading on that policy, on our syllabus, and which chapter we have to cover and what section we should do. Now, how would I study for this? Because you're going to study on your own. You will have what's called the note, which is right here. If you click on the note, you will see we're going to cover chapter by chapter. Underneath each chapter, it will tell you which quiz it will cover. So if I'm looking at chapter 1, then for chapter 1 I should be able to do from the quizzes, which is on here on the side, I should be able to do quiz 1 and 2, and it goes through the whole entire thing. So if I click on the note, and that's what I want to study, I want to study my note. If I click on the note, the first section we have is actually section 1.3, which is called complex number. So if you click on it, it's basically a PDF file. You can print it if you want to, and basically I go over some of the examples, what we mean by complex number, how to add them, how to subtract them, and how to multiply them. In addition to that, toward the end, how to divide them and how to use the calculator. This is a PDF file, so you can print it if you decide to print it. And the minute you go over complex number, you go over the next section and so on. If you're going back to the home page, which is course content, you will see underneath it review for each section, meaning some homework that students feel like I need an extra practice. I saw the note, then tell me how to actually look over some homework, which is if you click on section review for chapter 1, you will see, as you can see, the first one is called complex number. So if you click on it for practice reason, this is just for your own practice, it's not for a grade. This is a complex number. It will give you an idea how to do those problems, and you can always check your work toward the end of the paper, which is down here. That's under homework and review for each section. Now let's go back to the home page. The minute I finish this, I go back to my quiz all the time and find out what's the quiz all about. Notice on the quizzes, if you click on the quizzes, you will see each quiz and what's the instruction underneath it. Like for this quiz 1, I will be actually covering 1.3, 1.4, and 1.6. So those 3 sections, the minute you finish those 3 sections, there is a quiz on them, and the quiz, basically you click on it. So if I click on the quiz, and it will give me an option, it will open an instruction for me right here, and it will tell me, do you want to begin? I will say yes. And keep in mind, those quizzes are not timed. Therefore, I want to maybe do a left click and then click on print preview and print them all. And here we go. You just have to make sure that you're not just printing one page, you will print 8 pages. That's one way of printing the quiz. What is the neat thing about printing the quiz? It will give you the chance to work on it offline. So you go over those problems because we have them done inside our note. You see how they're done and you study them, and you should be able to work through them. Make sure you understand them. So when you read the question, make sure you read, you highlight the keyword in the problem. I want the standard form, as like if you look at number 7, and you make sure you understand how to do the problem. Now I could do each one and save it as an example, and then I can get out. I will not submit. The most important thing, when you close it, you have to go to the X button all the way on the top. So you can close it. It will give you this message, just say okay, and then you're out of the quiz. You can go back to it whenever you decide, or when you're done, when you want to submit, and it will ask you to actually this time to continue, and you can continue working on the quiz. And if you have it ready, you go in, you submit your answer, you save them all, and you submit. Do not submit unless you have all answers are saved. Now, this quiz is due this week by Thursday, I think midnight. The reason, that will be part of your attendance. If you don't do quiz 1, your name will be dropped. People who attended the orientation, they will receive a bonus of a 2 point on their sum of 600. You will be working on quiz 1 and the second quiz, third quiz, and the fourth quiz, all the way to section 3.1 to 3.3. This is half of the chapter, meaning at this time we should be ready to study for our midterm. If you finish your quizzes prior to the midterm, which is on the 20th, each student will receive 5 points. So the student who finished prior to the 20th, then they will get 5 points. Now, the minute you finish your quizzes, you want to make sure you go in and you study for your pre-midterm. Pre-midterm, similar to the quizzes, the only thing is going to be time. It says over here it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. But that's after you're done with all your quizzes. You print it, you study it, you submit within the time limit. You have a 33 problem, and it's worth 50 points. You cannot open and close. You have to keep in mind, if you open it, you have to finish it. The minute you finish it, then you will have the midterm, and that's actually over the section 1.3 to 3.3. So if you do well on the pre-midterm, you know for sure you're going to do well on the midterm because it's similar to it. Be careful with the time. You have to keep in mind you can take it once. So that's what we have to worry about, which is your quizzes and your pre-midterm. Your quizzes from now until the end of the semester will be worth 200 points. Your pre-midterm will be 50 points. Your pre-final will be another 50 points. That will give you a total of 300 points. Your midterm is 150 and your final is 150. You want to make sure that you click on the announcement more often to see what announcement I'm posting for you. Like the one I have now, this is your attendance based on the submission of a quiz 1 by Thursday midnight. Otherwise, your name will be dropped from the class. And I hope you will do it. Another thing, we need to check our email more often, and we need to make sure we base ourselves correctly during summer. Summer goes very quick. That means I need to make sure I'm on the top of my material. You have any question, you can email me, you can call me. You're welcome. If you have any suggestion to improve the course, please let us know. You wanna also, most of the time, you wanna make sure that you click on your grade. You wanna make sure you click on the grade to see what grade you have. Like if I do it as a student view, I wanna click and see what grade I will have in my course. And you will see that every time you take a quiz, the quiz should appear right here, and and it goes on and on until you're done with the whole entire material. Another thing we need to talk about, which is always I go back to the home page. It's very helpful that you actually go down the list. There is a PowerPoint. A lot of people benefit by using the PowerPoint because it has some example. There is what we call is audio created by me. Unfortunately today it's not working. We'll go ahead and call the distance education, but it has example for each chapter, and those example are related to the material we will be actually covering inside the course, and you could see the name of each section is set up next to it. Another helpful icon also, I call it an index card. I created an index card for each chapter, for chapter 1, which is really good, so this way I know what is available for me to use for the exam, and I combine them and I make one index card for the midterm, and this formula sheet you could use for the exam. On the exam you could use your formula sheet, and you can use your calculator and scratch sheet of paper. Let's see what else. We talked about finishing the quizzes by the 20th. You receive 5 points. The same thing with the final. You receive also another 5 points if you finish them before the final. A total of a 12 points in general, because 2 comes from the attendance. I hope you will work well through the course. If you have any question, let me know, and I'll be glad to guide you through the course. And have a great summer.